Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to do a follow-up video of kind of a recap of what's going on, my thoughts moving forward since we've gotten the tariffs and the retaliation from China and the reaction from the market from all of those moves. First thing I want to do is basically just start it off with the Dixie Index. When we did our last video, we were near $101, and I was saying, hey, this is a very interesting move that Dixie is putting. I was actually not looking for that to actually consolidate in that level again. Not again, but it's doing it again. It's okay though. As long as we're above, let me see, what is this? 102.36 and closing above 102.36, 102. The possibility of us putting in this rounding bottom that I've been looking at for the last 1, 2, 3 years is possible, and then we could look for that upside push as the Fed starts cutting rates again. You can see we've done this multiple times. After a deep dive down, we get this nice little push up in this little consolidational range between 102 and 107. So which way is going to break is going to be very important. Keep in mind we have that inverse relationship. So as Dixie has been going down, Bitcoin and crypto and hard assets will be going up. But the fact that it's doing different stuff right now is something that you need to be aware of. So keep in mind that when we were above 107 is when we got the big kickback, and that's when markets started to do their, you know, recovery. And now that we're on the bottom, they're looking like they're getting beat up. So that's something that you guys need to figure out your relationship to Dixie according to the asset you're trading. So feel free to keep an eye on that. I'm watching 102, 101. Where we go from there is gonna dictate where I'm expecting Bitcoin and stuff to go. Because as we're going down to the downside on Dixie, these should be looking for a bottom and looking for upside push. Full disclosure, I have taken a long on ETH at 17.95, and I had shorted 18.25, which I just closed, and I took the long here just because I am a believer of upside, but I know that as a trader, that's probably the worst long scalp I'm going to take. I'm ready for the loss if it comes, but I just have to attempt it, and I'll show you why in a second, okay? So we're done with Dixie. We're looking for if we're going to put in a sideways bottom. If we put in a sideways bottom, then we should be looking for sideways on everything. And then once this decides to go up, are we going to take a leg down, or are we going to go 1 to 1 and rise up together? Because this whole time this has been consolidating, these assets have become more and more of a long-term future uptrend. So they might start correlating. Before they were inverse correlating, now they might correlate 1 to 1. As Dixie goes up, Bitcoin can go up because it's basically in indexes. Okay, so that was the one point I wanted to make. Now let's go to Bitcoin itself. We've been watching this consolidation on this level very, very long time. My only if like my only issue with this is that we are keep hitting resistance and rejecting hard off of resistance, which is around 87,000. Our support is all the way over here at 75, 76,000. This week already is showing you downside is continuing. Okay, we are putting in higher lows and we are in a downtrend continuation. So please, 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 I know how hopeful everyone is. Be aware that Bitcoin has liquidity, and since the whole stock market sold off very harsh, if people need liquidity during margin calls, the next easily liquidable asset is your crypto. Since crypto did not take a nasty leg down as the US markets and indices did, please be aware that the next leg down could come from crypto because people are going to have margin calls from all their equities. Okay? Just be aware of that. I myself bought Sophie at around $10 and it opened $1 under when markets opened. So I instantly took a 20 what was it? A 10% loss per share on that asset when I just acquired it the day before. So, and I added, so don't worry, my average is under $10 now. So I just wanted you guys to know that everyone is probably feeling pain. It's not just you, it's everyone. Even I am in the red on my stock, so don't worry. Uh, So if that occurs, just be aware that the support is sitting over here around 75,000. If you look at the monthly, okay, last month we had a doji. This month we're testing into that doji. So yes, on the shorter time frames, it looks like downside is possible. But on monthly, if we close like this in 25 days sideways, I would be saying that Bitcoin has found its low near 85,000. Okay, 75.85 is going to be the low, and the only way to confirm it is to next week close above this level, 88,000. We need to have a daily open and close above 88, and then the downside people will give up, and more people will look to take the liquidity out of 110,000, and we should be taking out that level, okay, making a new all-time high. So that is what would happen if everything is looking for upside. If we're looking for downside, we're gonna take this liquidity at 75, and then keep in mind that you have to be ready for these lower levels. Okay, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. This order block is gonna get tested, and the middle of the order block is around 60,000. So coming into 60K is still bullish for upside. Just, I mean, it's gonna make a head and shoulder. So if you come to 65 and you do a dead cat into 80, that 80,000 is something I'll be shorting for lower. So, all right, that's basically the gist of what I wanted to give you on Bitcoin. Okay, now let's quickly look at Bitcoin between yellow and green. Okay, purple is over here. Now let's look at the same time frame on Ethereum. Clearly Ethereum has gotten destroyed compared to Bitcoin. Hence why I took a long here, already in the red. But if this week closes like this, next week I have a hope for us to coming testing into 2200. Okay, 2100 was tested and rejected, but it was probably front run to 22. So next week I'll be looking for 22. If we can set up a doji this week, I'll be looking for this weekly to get tested next week into 1950 to 2000 and beyond. So just be aware of that. That's why I'm taking this long. My stop loss will be like right there, 1750 ish or 1740. And if we go under that, I'll just be patient for the next long scalp when I see consolidation. So just be aware of that. The reason on the weekly I took it on the monthly. Now you can see the doji is being trying to be set up on the monthly. So this month, I will probably be just looking to accumulate Ethereum the whole freaking month until 25 days is up. And then the next month, I'll be looking for Ethereum to go to 2100 to take profit from the $1,800 entries that I'll be getting. So that's my plan on ETH, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing on ETH. Okay. I know that even if we get a pushback up into 2500 for a short squeeze, I'll short it. I won't get bullish. I'll be shorting it because I know that it's just them trying to hunt the liquidity out of people who are selling and shorting the lows. So that is what I have to say about Ethereum. The next thing I will go over is Ripple, just because one of the group members in the Discord is trading it. And I want to just point out how awesome that is because since Ripple is one of those assets that are very, very stable and go sideways, to know the range on Ripple, like say a daily range, right? You know that if it goes to 194, you can buy along. You know if it goes to 125, you can take your profit. So you can take longs from 195 to 20 on leverage and continually make money until this price action gets back above 230 and then starts continuing up. You understand? I'm not saying you have to short it, but you know that this is easily longable on support, and you know you can take your profit on resistance every time on a daily time frame. You don't even need to think hard about it. If you go on a lower time frame like 4 hour, you can do the exact same thing, but you're gonna have to set up a plan. Like sideways, where do you want to take your long? And look, we already had a plan over here. So we knew that we wanted to take a long in this level and in this level, and we knew that we want to take profits at the resistance. Well, you could do it at the EMA, which is why you're getting resistance here at 217. It's because people are trying to set up a head and shoulder right here. In a sequence of head and shoulders. You have head and shoulder after head and shoulder after head and shoulder on this asset. Look, okay, we've been monitoring it, head and shoulder after head and shoulder after head and shoulder. Okay, and look, you got a little Tory trend line over here. See this Tory trend line until you can break above it, it's still just downside. You see this Tory trend line? Let me pull it out more. Oops. So until you get above this trend line, it's still just gonna be downside. Oops. Because the resistance is holding all the upside down pretty well. Here was the first short. Here was the confirmation of the short, and all you're doing is just getting rejection at that same level on a consistent downward path into the liquidity area of 150, 160. So just be aware that that is what's happening. I don't know if it's going to play out, but that is possibility. Aside from that, guys, I don't have too much more. It's a chill weekend. I have a lot of stuff going on with my family, so I'm taking care of all that. But if you guys have any questions or concerns, hit me up in the comment section below. I'm always in the Discord, so DM me in the Discord. I can give you an instant reply. And aside from that, if you want to trade with me live, feel free to join the Discord server. The link to the server is in the description of this video below, alongside all the other affiliate services that I use and recommend that helps the channel grow. So thank you guys so much. And aside from that, I hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. Uh, One quick note here on ETH on 30 minute, you have bullish divergence on volume. So you see how the selling is decreasing as you're going sideways? Pretty soon we should probably get a move up in a short squeeze fashion. That's probably why I took the long. So I hope this helps, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.